Hello? Listen. So she's still speaking. So she just got done telling the daughters of Jerusalem to not awaken or arouse love until it so desires, until the time is right. There is going to be a time. You don't always have to wait. There is going to come, we read in Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything. There's a time for waiting and there's a time for acting. There is going to come a time to act on that love. When love will awaken, love will desire. There is going to be a time for that. Right now is not the time. So here she's speaking again. Listen, my lover, look, here he comes, leaping across the mountains, bounding over the hills. My lover is like a gazelle or a young stag. Look, there he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, peering through the lattice. My lover spoke and said to me, arise, my darling, my beautiful one, and come with me. See, the winter is past. The rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth. The season of singing has come, so it's springtime. Spring is also a common imagery in this book. The cooing of doves, there's that messenger of love again, is heard in our land. So it's the time of year everything is growing, when nature is reclaiming itself after the barrenness of winter. The fig tree forms its early fruit. The blossoming vines spread their fragrance. Arise, come, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. So that was her saying what he was saying to her. This may be a dream, okay? There are some people, I have a hard time seeing this. I don't know, okay? There are some people who think that parts of the song are a dream that she's having. And so this could be a dream. She might have fallen asleep at the end of verse 7, and now she's dreaming. I don't know. It's really hard to say. For me, it's really hard to say. Now the guy is speaking again. My dove, again, that's a messenger of love, is in the clefts of the rock, in the hiding places on the mountainside. Show me your face. Let me hear your voice. For your voice is sweet, and your face is lovely. So he wants to see her, and he wants to hear her. Most guys just want to see. Most guys are not really all that interested in hearing, okay? We're going to read many years later, 1,000 years from now, and many books that come in the Bible. We're going to read Peter give this advice to husbands. This is the Apostle Peter, writing in the 60s or so AD, so 1,000 years after Solomon. And he says here in 1 Peter 3, verse 7, husbands, he just got done talking to wives, now he's talking to husbands. And Peter was a married man, so he, I'm assuming, is giving them advice that he himself has taken and followed in his marriage. Husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives. And what he's really saying here is to know your wife, to be aware of her. Treat your wife with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life, so nothing will hinder your progress. So what he's really saying is to know your wife, to understand her, to know her in and out, to know her ins and outs. And to do that, you have to listen to her. You have to hear what she says about things. And Peter is speaking in a culture in which men often didn't listen to women. In fact, it was considered to be a waste of time to talk to women, even to your wife, because they never had anything interesting to say. And so a lot of men don't want to do the hearing part. Solomon here wants to do the hearing part. He wants to see her, and he wants to hear her. Show me your face. Let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet, and your face is lovely. Catch for us the foxes, the little foxes, that ruin the vineyards, our vineyards that are in bloom. What he's saying there, both of them together are saying there, is get rid of those little things that get in the way, that cause problems. Again, the vineyard is referring to her, to themselves, like their vineyard that they're growing. And the foxes will ruin the vineyard. So, get rid of those foxes. Chase after those foxes. Whatever it is that gets in the way of your relationship with your wife or your lover, your beloved, chase that away. Get rid of it. The woman is speaking. My lover is mine, and I am his. He browses among the lilies. So there's no lily reference. Until the day breaks and the shadows flee. Turn, my lover, and be like a gazelle, or like a young stag on the rugged hills. All night long on my bed, so this is again a possible dream sequence, I looked for the one my heart loves. Now you have to remember, I don't know if they're married. They're not married yet here. They'll be married in a chapter. Even in marriage, in the ancient world, husbands and wives usually didn't have the same bedroom. They would come together, I guess, for sexual purposes. But even in a marriage relationship, they didn't actually usually sleep in the same bed, in the same bedroom. So when she goes to bed at night, she's in a different room than he is. Now we would see that today as a sign of problem in the marriage. We have the cultural custom of you sleep with your wife, whether you have sex with her or not. You're supposed to sleep in the same bed with her. They didn't actually have that back then. The marriage bed was different from the actual bed you slept in, which was still in a separate room from your spouse. So when she's on her bed sleeping all night long, she's not in the same room with him, and he's not in the same bed with her. So all night long on my bed, I looked for the one my heart loves. I looked for him, but I did not find him. I will get up now and go about the city, through its streets and squares. I will search for the one my heart loves. So I looked for him, but I did not find him. The watchmen found me, as they made their rounds in the city. Have you seen the one my heart loves? Scarcely had I passed them, when I found the one my heart loves. Apparently they didn't help her find him. I held him and would not let him go, until I had brought him to my mother's house, to the room of the one who conceived me. There's several references to the mothers in this book, but there are no references to the fathers. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, by the gazelles and by the does of the field, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. So once again, she's telling them to hold off. It's not time yet. I don't know if this was a dream. It might have been. She has another sequence like this later, where she's looking for him and doesn't find him, and this time the watchmen don't. I don't know if they helped her or not. I don't know. It doesn't seem as though they actually found him for her. But next time we're going to see her do this, they're going to beat her. So this could be a dream sequence. She could be dreaming about wanting to be in his chambers. I don't really know. Now, in this NIV translation, they do not have a change in speaker here. In other translations, they do. Some translations say that this is, in the NIV, as you can see by looking at the page here, okay, this is where we started, and then this is the second column. This is so difficult. There is no change in speaker there. Some translations will have a change in speaker here, and we switch from the girl speaking to the narrator, the songwriter speaking. I kind of think that's probably more like it. It seems like that we're not seeing the girl from her own perspective. It seems like we're looking at the scene from a distant perspective here. This is going to be the wedding procession itself we're going to read about. So we're saying, who is this? Now the this in the Hebrew here is feminine. So that we're talking about her. That's one of the things where it's probably not her speaking here. It's probably someone observing the sight speaking. And it says, who is this coming up? And then this is a female, so it's probably her. So who is this coming up from the desert like a column of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and incense, made from all the spices of the merchant? Look, it is Solomon's carriage. So she's in the carriage. It's Solomon's carriage, but this in the carriage is a female. So she's in the carriage. So she's being escorted. It's the wedding day. She's being brought to the wedding site. Look, it is Solomon's carriage, escorted by 60 warriors, the noblest of Israel, all of them wearing the sword, all experienced in battle, each with his sword at his side, prepared for the terrors of the night. So we're not sparing any expense on the security of this girl. She's going to get to that wedding procession. There's not going to be a finger laid on her way. King Solomon made for himself the carriage. He made it of wood from Lebanon. So now we know who the king is. We read about the king way back in chapter 1, verse 4. Now we know it is King Solomon. He made it of wood from Lebanon. Its posts he made of silver, its base of gold. Its seat was upholstered with purple, its interior lovingly inlaid as a gift of love or by the daughters of Jerusalem. Come out, you daughters of Zion, and look at King Solomon wearing the crown. So there his name is mentioned again. This is King Solomon we're talking about here. And look at King Solomon wearing the crown. So he's waiting for her carriage to come and be delivered to him with her in it, guarded by his 60 best men. And he's standing there waiting, and the daughters of Jerusalem are going out and admiring him. And look at King Solomon wearing the crown with which his mother crowned him. There's no reference to the mother, by the way, his mother this time. On the day of his wedding, the day his heart rejoiced. Now he is speaking. So she's coming to him, and he is speaking about her as she comes. How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes behind your veil are doves. Your hair, so she's all veiled up and ready for this wedding. Your hair is like a flock of goats descending from Mount Gilead. There's that mid-10th century BC ancient Israel imagery. I don't think today we would, if men today were trying to communicate the loveliness of their woman's hair, I don't think most of them would use the imagery of a flock of goats descending from a mountain. But that made sense to them back then. Your hair is like a flock of goats descending from Mount Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep just shorn, coming up from the washing. Each has its twin. Not one of them is long. So she has all of her teeth, for one thing, which again, this is in the days before dental care, so that's pretty impressive in its own right. So she has all of her teeth, and they're nice and white and sparkling and shining. Your lips are like a scarlet ribbon. Your mouth is lovely. Your temples behind your veil are like the halves of a pomegranate. Your neck is like the Tower of David, so firm and rigid, a strong neck, strong posture, strong character, built with elegance. On it hang 1,000 shields, all of them shields of warriors. Your two breasts are like two fawns, like twin fawns of a gazelle that browse among the lilies. Until the day breaks and the shadows flee, I will go, so until the time comes, I will go to the mountain of myrrh and to the hill of incense. So he's talking about her breasts there. He wants his hands on those breasts. He wants to put his hands on those breasts. Oh, beautiful you are, my darling. There is no flaw in you. Come with me from Lebanon, my bride. Come with me from Lebanon. Descend from the crest of Amana, from the top of Senir, the summit of Hermon, from the lion's dens, and the mountain haunts of the leopards. I don't know if this is a reference from where she's actually from, or it's just a reference from him. He had to go get her from these dangerous places. He's bringing her here in the company of 60 of his best men. Like, he wants her with him. He wants her out of those dangerous places and safe with him. You have stolen my heart, my sister, my bride. You have stolen my heart with one glance of your eyes, with one jewel of your necklace. How delightful is your love, my sister, my bride. How much more pleasing is your love than wine, and the fragrance of your perfume than any spice. Your lips drop sweetness as the honeycomb, my bride. Milk and honey are under your tongue. The fragrance of your garments is like that of Lebanon. You are a garden. There's that garden imagery again, applied to her specifically. You are a garden locked up, my sister, my bride. You are a spring enclosed, a sealed fountain. That's referring to her virginity. She has kept herself pure for this day. Back in Proverbs, Solomon also compared your wife, this person he's talking to a spring. This is Proverbs 5, starting in verse 15. He's, again, remember, Proverbs is all written from Solomon to his son, or whoever were listening to him. And he says here, drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. He's referring to your wife in this case. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares? Let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breasts satisfy you always. May you ever be captivated by her love. Why be captivated, my son, by an adulteress? Why embrace the bosom of another man's wife? So in that case, we're referring to your wife as a spring. Your spring, yours and yours alone. Don't share her with somebody else. Don't go looking for somebody else's spring. And so here Solomon, the man, is referring to his woman as a sealed spring who's been kept preserved for him on this day and following. Your plants are an orchard of pomegranates with choice fruits, with henna and nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with every kind of incense tree, with myrrh and aloes and all the finest spices. So there's a lot of that garden imagery right there. You are a garden fountain, a well of flowing water, streaming down from Mount Lebanon. Here's the beloved speaking again. Awake, north wind, and come, south wind, blow on my garden, that its fragrance may spread abroad. Let my lover come into his garden, that's herself he's referring to here, and taste its choice fruits. So they're moments away from getting it on. And he says this, I have come into my garden, my sister, my bride. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb and my honey. I have drunk my wine and my milk. So that's the consummation right there. They were coming to each other for the wedding, and now it is time. There is no longer any need for delay. No longer any, it is time to have, there's a time to wait and a time to act, and now it's time to act. Now the second half of verse 1 here in chapter 5, in this version it says the friends are speaking this. I tend to think that's probably not the case. I think this goes back to what we said in chapter 3 as we were narrating the procession of the wedding procession coming to Solomon. I think this is the songwriter speaking here. And I think the songwriter here is speaking for God. I think this is basically God's blessing on the marriage and on the couple. And they say, eat, O friends, and drink. Drink your fill, O lovers. So God himself is looking down from heaven and giving his assent to this union. This is what he intends for these people. This is what he wants to have happen. This pleases him. This is the restoration of the relationship that the man and woman were supposed to have in the garden.